From Trinidad and Albania to real estate, Shaq and Kelly brings you Smart Money Approach.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to our fourth episode of Smart Money Approach. I am your co host, Kelly, and this is
Shaq.
Today, we're going to start talking a little bit about what happened on our last deal, our last property, the 13 unit. You want to lead us into it?
Yeah, sure, Kelly. Um, Basically, guys, long story short, the deal didn't go as planned and we lost it. There were several reasons why we lost it, but to just put out our main one, it was due to the first half of the financing. We were creative enough to basically have the seller agree to do 20% financing, but other lenders, due to the lack of our experience, on top of seller financing, they wasn't too fond of us basically having that deal. And the ones who were basically were trying to have us pay way too much interest and points, which would not make sense to us to do.
I think it was really hard trying to find a hard money lender to lend us that kind of money for somebody who we tried to go into such big of a deal with no experience. So it's kind of hard for them to say like how it's actually going to go on their side.
Exactly, because I mean, like, the property was showing it was going to cash flow regardless.
Yeah.
I think they were more scared of like, hey, this guy really don't have no experience, like you said, and like something or what if this go wrong. I think it was mentally playing the what if games right there and there, which I don't know. To me, like, yes, you have to be cautious about the what if games and somebody with the lack of experience. But if they have a property manager in place and you're seeing everything else checks out, then why not?
True.
It was a learning lesson though overall. I would say. It was a pricey learning experience, but though the things we have gained from that, I think it was worth the money, because we really learned like what to look for whenever going after a multi-complex deal or a smaller commercial deal, and what are some of the questions you want to ask, like asking about the seller for the rent rolls, past taxes, or like even going in depth as to like going to call the county to find out like what permits was requested for this place to get some of the work done. And that's just like a couple of the things which we learned, but I thought it was a good experience for us.
Is there something else that you like wished you did better?
Yeah, so kind of going back on the financing, I wish that we had tried to get the financing prior to going into the deal, like at least throwing the numbers out there, because where most of the money went was the appraisal and also the inspection, which was 2,500 for the appraisal and 1,500 for the inspection. So if we knew like we won't have the financing that we wanted prior, then we wouldn't have to pay that much.
Yeah. I think in this property there was a lot of us like waiting for them to like either get us approved or we're gonna get the money. Like we weren't really looking for other money lenders. We were like stuck with one because we thought like, okay, we're gonna get this one.
Exactly.
We're just like waiting.
Exactly. I think that like goes back into basically having that like financing partner like available, and you like know for like sure before going into the deal, or if you don't have one before going into it, basically like having multiple options, so like kind of pick plug and play with. Because coming up towards the end, we were basically like running around like headless chickens, you know what I'm saying? Trying to like send our stuff to this person, that person, the other person. So I think overall, you know what I'm saying? It was a hard learned lesson, but I think it was worth it.
Okay.
I'm gonna take us into our next convo, which is I'm kind of speaking about inheritance and what some people may think it is or may think it's not. Some people are going to get offended by this, but some of the truth hurts.
So
a lot of us, sorry, but go ahead.
No, it's okay.
A lot of us always say like, hey, we want to give our kids something that we didn't have growing up, right? But I'm not sure like if we think big enough about that. I think we think of it as in smaller stuff like, hey, I want to give them the nice big backyard. I want to give them the new brand new bike that they can have, or like other things like that. But the way I look at it, a bike is nice, affordable, which I don't think is bad. But I would even go as more in depth as in us continuously spending our children's inheritance. Do you understand what I mean by that? Like, for example, let's say we we make $100 a week, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can use $30 of that to go out and party, drink, have a good time, right? And we do that on a weekly basis.
Mm-hmm.
That's approximately 120 right there a month. Now, instead of doing that, we could use, I would say, 120, right? Maybe go out once a month and have 90 left over,
Mm-hmm.
and reinvest that to make that 90 into 180.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like, people, do you all hear me? We are continuously spending our children's inheritance by going out and wasting the money on things we think that's important,
Mm-hmm.
instead of like reinvesting it in ourselves or in something that can bring us back more money. So I must put the analogy again. Hey, you make 30 a week. No, you make 100 a week, right? I
Okay.
said, right? You spend 30 of that 100 going out and partying every single week. That's $120 right there, right? Instead of taking that money and reinvesting it, we spend it and blowing it. Now, let's say, you know what? You don't want to take away all the funds. You want to go out one time a month. You take the other 90 from that 120 and you invest it somewhere. And you made the 90 keep on doubling. So it's going to be 180. Then the next time, it's going to turn into 360. Then so forth and so on.
How is like, because except for partying and like spending money every weekend for stuff like that, you also like mentioned like, oh, you want to buy your kids like a house or a backyard or a bike, like let's say a bike. You buy a bike to your kid when they're like really young and they don't really like understand like what else you're trying to teach
Exactly.
them. So how do you move from that to the others?
So basically, you're saying overspending on the kids at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. We have other parents out here continuously buying their kids these name brands, Jordans, so to say, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go out here and they spend freaking on a pair of sneakers that may fit them for probably 2-3 months.
Yeah.
$60 on the sneakers,
Not even.
right? Not even that long it may fit them. Now, I'm pretty sure your kid will probably like even more, probably a $20 shoe that lights up. It's probably like their favorite character on TV.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saving $40 right there. Let's say you have 3 kids, right? So which means you save $40 by 3. That's right there is 120.
Mm-hmm.
Use that 120 to go in and to invest in something else, to where that money is going to continue growing. So whenever it's time for you to pass on, now you have all that accumulated money to pass on to your kids. Or let's say buying cars. We have so many couples who like go after these either fast, nice, or expensive cars. For what reason? They can buy a car that's 10 years older, right? Pay less, or probably even pay cash for it. And instead of paying $500 on that car payment a month, they maybe only pay $200 instead.
Mm-hmm.
Saving $300 a month. $300 by 12 months, right? That's $3,600 right there. That they could potentially put into something to bring back more money for them.
That's true.
And I don't think people understand this, but what I'm saying, like, hey, the more stuff you spend your money on, you're actually taking away from your children's inheritance.
Yeah, they're basically just buying brand. Like, I want my shoes to be like Jordan or this or that, or like I want to buy them like the biggest car. They're turning like 16. Like, we're saying, don't like not buy them, but like teach them how to actually profit from it.
Exactly. So next one is us basically talking about some of our hardships with starting the business and kind of keeping up with it. here in the past couple of weeks, we have been a bit preoccupied with other stuff in our lives, which I had spoke with Kelly, like women myself for it as well, that like, hey, we need to stay constant in what we're doing.
Yeah.
For example, this is our 4th podcast. This should be probably our 6th or 7th podcast right now.
That's true.
So we have implemented stuff like, for example, timers and alarms on our phones or calendars to really keep us up and make sure that we stay doing what we should do.
Yeah, to where we have like a timeline. We can do like this from this time to this time. We have to occupy ourselves learning about this. Every time we're doing something, we should probably listen to a podcast, do a book, or have a specific time to where we can also see like how much time we're actually putting into the business, and not just saying like, oh, like I did set something like this, or I wasn't really doing anything today. Like those times and alarms like help you like stay on your shit basically.
Exactly. And that's what we kind of want to talk about. Just basically staying constant in what you're doing. I know like our podcast is normally like more about real estate, but this episode we decided to touch on other different things to kind of like tell the people like, hey, this is what we've seen ourselves doing, and this is how we're trying to make better from ourselves. Remember, this podcast is kind of like show you our journey as well. So our journey in our real estate business also has different type of things. But to get into more news though, guess what? We got our 100 follower finally, yo. Let's go. Let's do a round of applause. 100 follower, yo. It was a follower by the name of Dominic. We're gonna probably put him in the show notes as well. But yo, like, we are constantly trying to like promote our page, right, in different ways. So normally on our page we host contests that no one has ever entered as yet. 0 people, guys. 0 by the way.
So we thought we should do something to where nobody knows that they actually are entering into it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what we gonna do from now on? Listen up. We're not gonna tell you which follower is gonna be, but moving forward, once we hit certain numbers of followers, that follower who brought us into that number is going to be getting a cash prize. Our last cash prize was $50. The next one's going to be $100.
Whoa.
So we're not sure who it's going to be, but somebody out there is going to receive a PayPal amount of $100. And who knows, we may bring back advertising our stuff. And the advertisement, guys, is basically like, hey, you go on our page, you share the page, right? And you have one of your friends go like a post and then comment your initials with a hashtag Smart Money Approach. And we did this twice, and we tried to give away $30 each time, and nobody entered. I guess people out there just don't like money.
To where it would have just taken like a simple comment as in your initials and like a hashtag to win $30.
Exactly. You would like somebody would have to do it one time.
Yeah.
That's like what, like 2 minutes right there?
Yeah, there was like no competition whatsoever.
At all. None whatsoever. But yeah. But shout out once again, Dominic, he also have a clothing line, right?
Yes.
We're gonna also tag his clothing line down in the bottom. So please go check him out, his profile, his clothing line. I think he's gonna make it pretty big in the clothing industry. It looks pretty good. We actually will be wearing hopefully his shirts in the next episode or future one to really represent as well. And then for our last segment of this is Lucky Dummy. Let me think. Do we have any Lucky Dummy things this week?
We did actually.
Oh yeah, we did.
With Kentucky, we were okay. So the last property, the 13 unit, was in Kentucky. So even though we did not know this prior, there was like a lot of people trying to invest in the area. So we were like, yeah. So that was like our lucky dummy moment, I guess. Like I can't really think of another one.
I think I wouldn't call it a lucky dummy, but I wish I had like some confetti or champagne because I wasn't gonna do it. But guess what? We helped close on our first deal. Actually,
Hey.
a deal like it was a deal we didn't even know it was gonna be a deal set for us as well. So on the prior episode, I brought on someone named Naaman Taylor to kind of talk to you all as well, and he is someone who I've known for a while now. I met him back in Korea 7 years ago. Yeah, I know, a long time ago. And basically, we have been talking over this past couple of months, back and forth, and I've been telling him a lot about like what I'm trying to do and the deeds, and also he has been doing this for the past 6 years as well. whenever the 13-unit deal didn't fall through, we spoke about me partnering with him going into two of his deals actually. The second one I really can't talk about, but the first one is actually a flip. That on the page, the Smart Money Approach, we're probably going to post a couple of pictures of the before and then afterwards it's complete. So look out for that, guys. Congrats, we closed our first one, yo, let's go. I mean, like, I wish we could have said we are still 100%, but hey, we are 1 out of 2, you know what I'm saying? Right now we have 50% closing right now, and hopefully here by next Wednesday we're gonna be at 66% of closing, and we'll continue that one. No more lockdoors. Let's go. We in there. But yeah. So
I think this is also gonna be like a good to put on our portfolio and have us experience for another property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm super excited to see how this first flip goes, and plus too, I guess it's lucky dummy because we have somebody who we trust and know, and isn't just like a random partner we met online. So he's gonna show us some tricks of the trade that we probably would have to pay again to learn.
Yeah, we really like appreciate having somebody like that to help us like go into the business with them.
Exactly. Oh, actually, you know what? We can't even like discount the other deal as well as not having anybody. In our 13 units, we were actually able to get some mentoring in that as well. Because remember, I don't know if I can mention his name or not, but hey, I guess I will. We had actually somebody famous, I mean like famous to us at least, the person from military to millionaire actually came on, and I was going to include him in a partnership to where I'll be giving him a percentage off of the deal, and also for him to kind of guide us along. And if it did close, then he would be there, but though he was able to even like give us some steps and guides to where it actually helped us out as well going forward with the deal. Once again, I still wish we would have closed, but we actually had some mentorship on that deal to where at times at the beginning it seemed like we was doing everything right, which we were, but just his input every now and again helped us out a lot as well. I kind of kept us on track as well, because we would have to also give him updates on like, hey, we're here, we're doing this, we did that, we did the other.
Yeah, he was like, what about this? Did you ask about this? Like, it really helps like having somebody who knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
And like telling you if you did everything on the checklist.
Exactly. Well, I think that's it.
Yeah.
So once again, guys, this is your boy Shaq from Smart Money Approach with my co-host
Kelly.
And please like, subscribe. Okay, later.
Bye.